Hello and welcome back. And in this video, we're going to be talking about label. So label is basically a new view that was introduced in iOS 14. And this is basically, this view is used to display label that contains a title and an icon. So it's basically a combination of these two. It groups a title and icon in a single view, and you can basically customize it using label style. But there are different variations of label that you can use. So we're gonna look at that in this video. And I just want to point out a few things, if label is basically not using any custom style, then label by default uses H stack view. So just remember that, because when you're laying out the labels, they're always going to be in H stack until you actually create your own custom view. Okay, with that, let's go ahead and take a look at our first example for a simple label. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to simply create a label, and we are going to be using the as you can see, there are various different overloads for the initializers that we have. Let's use the one that takes a string and for the title and image name to display the image. Okay, so we're gonna say WWDC 2020, for example, and I'm gonna use Apple. I have a small version of this, so I'm gonna use that. Okay, and now this is our label. You can actually provide a foreground color to this. So foreground color is going to be applied. You can apply the font. So let me show you how you can apply a custom font. So let's use Habanero next for this example with size 28. Okay, so yeah, so just like the regular modifiers, they work more or less same as all the other modifiers. Now, like I said, these two elements are in H stack, so you can imagine basically applying these styles to our H stack, but you don't have to create your H stack right here. It's actually created by the label. Okay, now you can also use you can use system images or images from SF symbol to basically create a label. That's another overload. So let's go ahead and take a look, and you can apply some of the gestures and stuff. So we'll actually create an example that show you how you can interact with label as a view as well. So we're gonna create two state variables. Okay, and we are going to basically create a VStack now. Okay, inside this VStack, let's give it alignment as leading. I'm gonna say these are shapes that we are discussing here, and let me resume so we can see what's going on. We're gonna add a divider like that. Okay, and then we're gonna create label. Okay, now for the label, we're gonna use the overload that takes a string and system image. This time we're gonna use our rect selected to display which rectangle we want to show from the SF symbol. And on tap gesture, basically we're just gonna toggle rect selected. I'm going to take this and paste it down at the bottom, we're going to use similar structure for hexagon. Okay, and let's give this a font. So I'm going to apply the font on VStack. Okay, title, maybe title 3 or title 2 is perfect. Okay, let's give it a frame. Let's use width of 400 and add some padding and a background, round and rectangle with corner radius 25, fill, maybe color dot blue dot opacity 0.1. Okay, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna reduce this to 300. That's perfect. Okay, so that is your view. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at the live preview, and as you can see, wait a second. Okay, that's where, there you go. So you can interact with your label, and it actually shows the state being changed. All right, so that's how you can basically create a label with custom styles or custom images using your SF symbol images, and you can interact with it. All right, so that was the example, basically how you can use system images and interact with a label. Now let's say if you want to create a custom view for text and icon. So far we've been using a string and a system image or image, but let's say if you want to create your custom views for both of these, how can you do that? Well, that is easy as well. So gonna create body, and I'm gonna just put something in here. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna create some more views. So we're gonna create a struct. We're gonna call this one title view. Okay, and we're gonna use these views basically for our title and image labels. Instead of using title, string, and image, we're gonna use an overload that's called title and icon, which takes view builder, and basically that gives us the ability to basically supply our own views. So that's what we're gonna use. Okay, so here I'm gonna basically expect a text to be passed in, and for the body we are simply going to say it's gonna be text with text inside, and we're gonna use a background with rectangle, and let's fill this with color dot gray. Gonna give it a frame of height 2, and let's align it at the bottom. Now we're gonna say for the alignment guide, gonna tell it to align to first text baseline, and for the dimension we're gonna simply say dimension dot height divided by 2, or half of the height, and return that. Okay, so that's gonna be the alignment for our title view, and that is going to be our title view. Now let's create another struct for the image view. Okay, so we're gonna use create view triangles, because I'm gonna display triangles in this stacked in Z space. Okay, so body and Z stack, Actually, let's use hexagon. Let's call it hexagon view. Okay, and gonna give it a font of system size 45, 30, 15. Alignment guide first baseline, and we can actually just give it a height and divide that by 2 to align those. Okay, so those two views are basically gonna be our views for title and icon. Okay, so let's go back to our label, and we're gonna create a first a VStack, and let's give it alignment. Okay, and here we're gonna create our label, and this label is gonna have, so the initializer that we're gonna use should take an icon. Okay, so let's try to find it, this one, right? So this actually takes a view builder. So as you can see, it actually, when you autofill, it actually creates this closure blocks for you, right? Within these closure blocks, you can simply call your views. So I can say title view, text, dev techie, and for the icon, we're gonna simply say hexagon view, like that. Okay, so if we resume, and let me give this a foreground color. Okay, so as you can see, basically it is displaying this this nice view or label that's actually completely custom built. Now let's try to apply font to this, and as you can see, font takes effect and basically applies directly to this labels text, and that's how you can actually create your own custom label. Okay, now if you were to create a custom label style like we discussed, like if you that you can create label styles, how can you do that? Well, that's easy enough as well. So let's go ahead and take a look at an example for that one. So basically for the style, you're gonna have to create a new style of type label style. So let's create a struct. We're gonna call this new label style. Basically it's gonna inherit from label style, and what we're gonna first do is we're gonna create a gradient. Okay, for the linear gradient, the colors I'm gonna choose is gonna be secondary opacity 0.1, zero point 0.3, and 0.5. Okay, now we also expect we are also going to expect text color to be passed in, so we're going to say we are expecting color to be passed in, and then we simply call make body. Now here we create our label with supplied configuration. For the foreground color, we're gonna say whatever text color is supplied, just use that. Add some padding around it, maybe about 20 points. Take a background and put a background, so let's say rounded rectangle with corner radius 25 is good, and we're gonna fill this with gradient that we have created. Okay, let's apply another background modifier with rounded rectangle, corner radius once again, this stroke, this basically with text color, and line width for 2 points. And for the overall, for the view, one more modifier, that's gonna be font, and we're gonna give it a large title. Okay, so that is our new label style. So you can basically apply any style modifier that you need. And now it's time to use this. So we're gonna simply create a label. We're gonna use the overload that takes string. So we're gonna say def key, and let's use the system image. So I'm going to use this SF symbol, and now you can apply label style, and like we asked for the color, we're going to actually supply the primary color.primary, and there we go. So this is our custom style label, and as you can see, it's got all the modifiers that we have applied. It has taken our custom color and applied it to the foreground as well. So it actually works far better, and this is the amount of code that you have to write. I mean, just take this code out. This is probably gonna live in somewhere where you define themes and stuff, but this is gonna be the code that you're gonna write to make this kind of view. Okay, so yeah, so this was it for basically the labels. I just want to discuss, like, how you can create um, your label custom styles and customize them for your app. Once again, this is only supported iOS 14 plus, so remember to put a check for iOS 13 or iOS 14 plus availability check, and if not, then fall back and create a similar structure using HStack that you can do with your custom views. Okay, so yeah, so that was it for this video. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you guys in next video. Thank you.